Welcome to Around the Verse, the best damn Star Citizen news show ever. I'm Sandy Gardner.
Damn straight. I'm Ben Lesnick.
It was a huge week for Star Citizen. We hit the $49 million stretch goal.
Can you believe it? 49. I mean, remember back in the day when we were planning this whole campaign together? I never thought we would be here.
No, me neither, but I am very excited for my space plant. I want to know what that looks like.
I think it's just going to look like an ordinary fern. We're just trolling you.
No, I want one of those Venus flytraps.
You just creep me out.
Wow, they're already small. They're cute. Our new $51 million goal is interactive.
That's right. For the first time ever, we're letting you guys help determine our production schedule. We've created a poll to determine what our web team at Turbulent works on next. They could be building the Star Citizen interactive map. They could do Org Drop 2, which will include the Org browser, Org Drop 3 with the forums, or the Galactopedia. That's the last option. And just let us know which one you want the best, and we're going to get our top men on it.
So what do? We vote at RSI is what you do.
Yep.
Patch 12.5 is out, and it is performing exactly as we hoped.
Nice.
High five on that one. And we've added 150,000 backers, so we're up to 350,000.
And we'll have more soon. By the way, I think that was the most awkward physical interaction anyone has ever had.
I know, right? So bad at the high five. Ready? No, we won't do it again.
No.
Okay, be sure to check out the monthly report.
That's right. We aren't just making Arena Commander. We're building all sorts of modules and access to the Star Citizen project at offices around the world. And monthly report is a good way to see some of that.
And Friday is your last chance to pick up an M50.
I got mine.
I did not get mine because I am going to race with a 350R.
Well, then I will see you out there at the Murray Cup racetrack.
And I am going to blow right past you.
You're just going to eat my space dust.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. We updated the Star Citizen Pledge store on Monday.
That's right, and it's more than just a store update. The store helps new users who aren't accustomed to the Star Citizen culture get into the game, but it was also a complete reworking of how the site treats ships. Every single ship has its own interactive database now. You can go to the page and see the holo viewer, the production images. We added over 350 ship pictures to the store, 20 3D models, and pages for 40 different ships, including ones that aren't even out yet. So absolutely check it out.
And now it's time for news from around the verse.
Let's do this module by module, starting with Arena Commander. Of course, the big news for Arena Commander is that patch 12.5 is out and it works.
Good news. We're also working on a number of small fixes, including audio enhancements and game rules updates.
The team has been very, very busy in Arena Commander, but we can't talk about everything as it would spoil the surprise at Gamescom next week. But trust me, it's all hands on deck here. A lot of programmers working late nights and some pretty cool stuff.
Squadron 42. The team is generating animation lists for the generic mocap shoot.
That's actually more exciting than it sounds. It's when you see characters in the background, like a bartender serving drinks or someone mopping the floor of the ship. That's right. Sandy actually did those animations. So when you see a janitor on your Bengal carrier,
yeah, that was me.
It's her motions.
Exactly. They finalized plans for Mission 6.
And they've created the design spec for future vertical slice items for the later episodes of Squadron 42.
Finally, a prototype for the pad landing system has been created.
That's right. Squadron 42's missions aren't just going to be on carriers. There's also going to be missions that take off of hangars like the ones you're on right now. And once they get that technology into the game, it'll carry over to Star Citizen, and we basically all share the wealth.
Persistent Universe. Art has been working on VFX for the new hangars and the jump point effect.
The design team in Austin has just been going crazy working on their game design documents. In fact, they've finished so many this week that I'm going to have to read them off this list. Navigation, mapping, shop inventory, landing takeoff, the emote system, buying and selling, and landing zone resource supply and demand. We're going to need Tony Z to come and talk about some of these things soon.
That's quite the list. They've made progress on 3 sample missions, which will be used to test the PU.
2 words, magnetic mines.
What does that mean?
Find out.
All right, ships. Gladius hangar animations are ready for review.
New concepts are inbound, including the retribution and the cockpit for the mining robot.
M50, as we know, is live in the hangar.
Finally. And grayboxing continues on the Gladiator, the Retaliator, the Javelin, the Panther, and more.
Damage states for the Constellation variants that you've all been waiting for, and the 350R are in progress.
And finally, we hear you. We are working on the issues with the Avenger.
Now it's over to William with MVP.
Hey everybody, I'm lead moderator Will, here to bring you this week's MVP. This week's MVP goes to FireSpikes because he's creating a real-life UEE space helmet. Even though it's just in its sanding phase, this thing looks awesome. Take a look. So thank you very much, FireSpikes. You're this week's MVP. Pew, 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 pew.
Thanks, William. Now over to everybody's favorite, Bug Smashers.
Same shirt, same bug. Actually, different bug, but same shirt. Bug Smashers! Hey everyone, welcome back to Bug Smashers. This week we'll be talking about an actual release bug where when you target somebody and then the boot up sequence occurs on the HUD, you'll lose that target, which is bad. Alright, so this bug was, pretty easy to replicate. You have your target, select them before the boot up sequence happens, and once you have them targeted, the boot up sequence will occur, and then all of a sudden, oh my god, I'm not targeting this guy anymore. No! That sucks. That means I have to retarget him, so I have to cycle through everybody. Now I can target him again. Kind of annoying bug. So what we're gonna do is, we have an event system where we send and receive messages to and from different elements. And it was just a case of one event happening before another event that was resetting, our targeting sequence after the boot sequence. Put a breakpoint on this function. This function will remove our target selection whenever something gets removed from the radar. Put on a breakpoint, go in the game, do it again, we'll see what's happening. So we have an events system in with our vehicles, even our players and items, where we could send a arbitrary event with our own data structure, and then any item or even the vehicle or player could listen to those events. So if the radar wants to report that, hey, we found this entity here at this location, we could have different items, even the player or vehicles, listen to those events and act upon them. This allows us to have a very robust and modular system where we could have vast amounts of different items and logic that just do their own thing, and they can communicate with each other with these event systems that are particularly designed to only send out information that other items and things that want to grab and listen to. So if we send an event and no one's listening, no one will ever get the information. It's not going to send to every single thing. It only sends to what needs to get the information. So it's very robust and it's very customizable to whatever we want to send. So one event to another is going to be completely different to others. We use this system pretty much throughout our entire item system, from our radar to our coolers to our weapons, so that they could communicate to all various types of modules in the game. And if we have one event sending before another event, then we could have some problems, like in the case of the earlier bug. It's a really interesting system that we just have to be careful on how we use. So I target him, up, and I popped. So let's see what's happening. Let's scroll down. So here's our call stack, which is the game code, what it's doing and calling. And the HUD has just finished processing the boot sequence, so it's starting to activate a bunch of things. And right about here, or where is it? Enable display. So this particular display is getting enabled. It's requesting the radar to reset itself. And that will eventually go to the radar system, and the radar system will listen to this event, and look at that. It will remove the entity, add it back, and then update the position. Since everything pretty much already checks to see if the entity is already in its list, we technically don't need to remove the entity, because that makes everything restart. So the quick fix is to disable this code. All right, so this bug, is easy to replicate. You select your target, before the boot up sequence occurs, then the boot up sequence will happen and you lost a target. This was just an event sequence that happens before in another event that canceled out an event that was just like, crap. So what we did was, after we prevented the boot up sequence from resetting the targets, and then all was good. It was actually a really quick and simple bug to fix, and hopefully you guys will appreciate the fix.
To the camera.
Event segment.
Now here's James with Chad Zamzow.
The Chad Zamzow experience.
In San Antonio before.
No, but you didn't work at the Austin office?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
That's actually where I would have preferred to have worked.
Nope. From Amontillado, as we know, Moon Collider's Kythera AI system is used in the game. What's your role in the process of actually getting into Star Citizen? Have you worked with AI systems in the past? If so, how does Kythera stack up against alternatives?
So I haven't worked on AI systems before. I'm actually a grad student coming straight out of DigiPen with a focus on AI specifically. But this is actually my first full-time job here. And as you know, Moon Collider is the main developer for the AI for Star Citizen, but they're over in the UK. And I'm more or less acting as their proxy here stateside. So when something goes wrong with the AI or there's some immediate AI needs, I'm there to fulfill it while people in the UK are asleep.
Cool. Second question from Harlot. How big of a variety can we expect between AI's different races? Will the Xi'an, Banu, and Vandal fight and behave differently?
So what we have for our AI are what we call profiles, which allow you to tweak values to make different AI behave differently. And we have it divided into subcategories of profiles. One of them actually is a race sub-profile, so we can specify some traits that would be inherited by all humans or all Vandal and whatnot. We don't have them really filled out right now, but it is something we're planning on doing. So for example, like Vandal being the kind of savage race, they'll have a more aggressive AI and they'll definitely show for it.
Next question from Dragon of War. What is the most difficult thing you've encountered with artificial intelligence so far?
Particularly challenging thing for this project is that really space flight sims haven't really been much of a thing for the past 15 years or so. And so as far as AI research and development goes, it's been much more focused on first-person shooters. So while there's plenty of things you can look at and research about how to make a first-person shooter AI, it's really kind of bare bones as far as modern techniques on how to make space flight sim AI. So that's kind of very, very challenging part there, is kind of going into unexplored territory as far as modern implementations go.
From Voon, what kind of order/chains can we expect to give to our wingman, turret gunners, and etc.? I mean things like shoot main target only in turrets, conserve energy, or shoot prime target, then secondary if in view, ignore others.
Playing the Vandal Swarm as it is right now, we don't have giving wingman commands yet. And mainly it's not something that we're working on right now, but it is something that we do have in mind for the future. For example, I'm just recently playing Free Space 2, and one of the things I really like from it is the extent of commands that you can give to your wingmen. You could break it down to individual ships, wings, or all the ships under your command, telling them to do specific things say attack the target capital ship's weapons or subsystems, or protect my target from attack. And that would have them be even intercepting bombs from hitting the capital ship. that you're ordering them to defend. And that's the sorts of things that I really would like to see in Star Citizen as well.
Man, we're really high up.
I'm so high right now.
You said you were afraid of heights, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but...
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Work hazard, right? We know that you guys are gathering or planning to gather a lot of data from Marina Commander. If so, what data/metrics are you guys using and how does it influence AI design?
I really would like to have metrics and whatnot, but I don't think we have them in Arena Commander right now. But I would certainly look forward to having it in the future. But what we do have right now is Moon Collider has expanded their debugging features in their Kythera inspector to allow for you to rewind time and see past data.
Oh, that's cool.
For the AI simulation that's been going on, so you can kind of, rewind and replay history to kind of, do better diagnostics on the AI and improve it from there.
All right, so that's all the questions we have for you. Thanks for joining us, Chad.
Thanks, James.
All right, back to you guys.
These interviews are getting
Pretty complex.
and strange. Interesting. Yes. Now here's Matt with some behind-the-scenes details on the Glaive.
You may recognize this guy. This is a slightly modified Vandal scythe. And one of the things we are doing is we're making a new ship in the family of the Vandal. And we need to mirror the geometry from this wing over to the other side. But this presents problems. This breaks animation, this breaks the normals, which are, I'll show you the normals here. So our artists go in and they hand move these little lines, and that tells how the light hits the polygon and reflects, and it changes the shape of those edges. So we want to preserve all that hard work, but Max's internal tools don't do a good job of that. So what I've done is I've written a mirror script, and I'll show you how that works. So right now, it's mirrored the geometry, but it has several other processes it needs to go through. It has to reset the transforms, then realign the axes, and then rebake the animation onto the model. Now I do have a bug, and I'm working through that today. This is as it happens, and I am, in about 20 seconds, you'll see the result. So in the past, I've worked on a lot of RTS games, I've worked on a lot of open world games, and I'm really excited to work on Star Citizen. It presents huge challenges. Just the scope is pretty fantastic, just the amount of content we're going to be generating, and the opportunity to write these tools is pretty awesome. Okay, we're done. So what we have here is the Vandal Glaive. And the animation has been baked to the other side. Now you notice there's all these little boxes here. I'm using those to tell me what's going on with the transformations of each part. And those all represent the pieces of the ship, the damaged pieces of the ship, the LODs, the debris. It's all got to be calculated and mirrored correctly so that when it blows up, it looks cool. So I'm working out a bug, and it's showing me that this node here is scaled negative. So I'm figuring out a way, I have an ingenious plan to mirror this without a negative scale. So once I complete that, then we will be able to mirror anything in the game and save a lot of time. Preserve our normals. I'll show you that. See, those normals are preserved. The animation's been preserved, and I just gotta get that scale out of there. So what happens when you have a negative scale? This happens. See how that's collapsed into the body like that? So as soon as I get rid of my negative scale, we'll have a symmetrical Vandal Glaive. hope you enjoy that when it comes out. Thank you for watching. That's all I got.
We have a new contest, and this is a big one.
That's right, our friends at SciTech are sharing not just a pair of Rhino HOTAS joysticks, but 2 flight chairs as well. We're going to throw in a couple of M50 packages to make the ultimate Star Citizen racing reward. And in order to get that reward, what we want our backers to do is take the grayscale image of the M50 available at the website right now, color it in the racing scheme you think looks the coolest, send it to us. We'll pick one winner from that, and then another winner will be determined via raffle at Gamescom, where everything will be announced as well.
Have you seen these playseat chairs?
I have. I really want one.
I know, I want one too.
I finally showed one to my wife, and she was like, I guess you can get one.
I want one too, but I don't think we can swindle that. We have one final surprise for you.
Everybody gets a poster. As you know, at our events, we like to give out physical Star Citizen posters, and this year we are giving everybody a poster for their hangar. We have 2 designs this year showing the Constellation and the M50 Racing. We're giving everybody 1,000 UEC. You can pick the poster you like best and add it to your hangar.
And which one are you going to pick?
I'm going for the M50.
I'm going for the Constellation, so we just differ again. Now, let's leave you with an art sneak peek.
This is the gray boxing of the Retaliator. What you're looking at has no textures, but it's still pretty cool.
So that's it for today's show. We won't see you next week because we will be at Gamescom, but we will see you the following week.
So in 2 weeks, we'll see you
Around the verse.
Perfect.